Yo, what's good? What's going on, everyone, everywhere? I'm about to go ahead and just hop into it. Go ahead and create a character. I ain't trying to lose my character name.
Now you do that, man. You do that. Let me skip the movie too.
Oh, you gonna skip the movie?
Yeah.
Man, you should watch the movie, man.
I already seen it.
But you need to watch it again.
Why?
Cause it's a good movie, man. I ain't gonna be no girl, man. I'm an old dude. Like me, I'm the large, tall. It used to be called brute. For those who didn't know, it used to not be called large. It used to be called brute. But what we're finna get into today is basically, I'm finna go over all the powers that's available right now, currently to date, in 2022 for DCUO. Okay, and which one's more beginner friendly? Which one's more like, you know, the difficulties of the powers, where they range at, and all that. Honestly, ooh, do I want?
My mentor.
I'm more look like this. I do.
Forgot about my mentor. Who should I be?
That's on you, man. Who you want to mentor you? It really don't matter, honestly. That's where you're gonna start, and when you'll like join the Justice League, who you're helping.
Well, if we were creating the same character, we need to be in the same place. So who you pick?
I haven't got that for you.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
I'll just pick that.
Well, I don't like Wonder Woman, so don't forget her. And you know I hate Superman.
I don't stand Superman either.
So
Man, I'm the
Batman
custom
it is.
hero.
Okay, now brother, give me the rundown on the powers when you on the screen, because I'm looking at nature, sorcery, mental,
Okay, you say you put
fire.
Batman, right?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. Okay, nature. Nature, I probably would not recommend this as your first power, right? Especially your first power back and everything. Just because when you get the full utilization of nature, it requires you to basically change into different forms. You got wolf, gorilla, you can even go to a dog, you can go to a bug, okay?
But that sounds awesome.
Going in and out of those forms, though, they have different loadouts for each form. And maintaining that, getting the timing right, that's just a lot of extra stuff that's going to distract you from like learning everything else that you gotta learn already. So it wouldn't be my personal recommendation for you to go nature off rip. Now, sorcery is another healer, like how nature is. And sorcery, you turn into like a pterodactyl creature, like a magical creature for like the healing side of it. But for the damage side of it, you have a pet. It's called a pet fury. It's the main one that most people use. You have other ones too that you can use as well. There's a watcher that you can heal you. There's a guardian, which looks like a big, like the thing that fights. And there's even like a supercharge that you can use for a grand summon, where you like summon all of them to help you out. It's pretty cool. It was actually my first power, but I don't know. I guess it really depends on your personality and whatnot. I only say that because I either find that people are mostly torn with nature. You either really like it or you really hate it. So it's one of those kind of things. But some people say it gets a little boring with sorcery. I can see what they're talking about, but the way it is now, especially in the high end and the high level stuff with the latest content, latest DLC and all that, you can have a lot more fun with it just because you can experiment a lot more around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mental probably wouldn't be a recommendation either. Only because when I think my personal recommendation is more along the line of what is simple, easy, and pretty straightforward. Mental, once again, you're switching loadouts and whatnot because you can turn invisible. The power mental is really cool. So I would say it's good in that respect, where the things they're able to do, and like if you're like really heavy in the background and lower of things, it's insane what you can do with mental. And mental is really strong damage wise. I would say with the low amount of enemies you're fighting. When I say low amount, I mean 3 or less. So 3, 2, 1. Amount of enemies is really strong there. When you get to like pretty much facing the whole small army, that's not a strong suit. It's not really going to excel there. For damage wise, controller wise, or the support role that it has, it is cool. Like pretty much all the controllers are pretty cool at the moment. So,
okay, all right.
I probably wouldn't do it. Ice, I would recommend. I would go ahead and recommend ice, only because it is very shield heavy when it comes to the support role, the tank aspect of it. All you really got to do is just make sure you pop your shields and you're good. Like you're immune from damage, or your shield takes damage instead of you, pretty much. It's pretty good. The DPS side of things is pretty decent. It can get really, like, excel really well if you know how to do it right. But yeah, pretty much
Can I
it.
use ice and fire at the same time?
No, you can only pick one power. Now you can get a power changer and switch your power, but these are all powers that you'll select just that power specifically. Your movement will give you additional abilities and additional powers that can go along with this power that you're selecting here. And then you'll have your weapon.
So you're telling me I cannot be like the guy from My Hero Academia?
Nah, you can't be icy hot, dude.
Oh, okay. All right.
You not yet. Now I don't know what they got down the pipeline. Some people suspecting a DCUO 2. There is a Marvel Universe Online coming, and DCUO is revamping their game engine, so potentially down the line it'll probably allow for dual powers. So yeah, fire I highly recommend. Highly recommend. Fire is amazing. Damage side of things is insane right now. Single target is hard to compete with, put it like that. The AoE of it is insane as well. Tanking of it, I would say some people prefer it, other people don't like it. But fire, you can get insane with your health, because what fire does, you're able to heal yourself with fire. Ice has shields, so you just keep throwing up shields and your defense is real strong. But fire, you have a little bit of a shield, and you mostly just heal yourself. You build your health up to an insane amount of health to where you can just keep taking a lot of hits and you just heal yourself, and the healer can heal you on top of it.
So I can heal myself and let the rest of y'all die?
I mean, potentially, yeah.
Well, that's not useful. I don't want my teammates to die, man.
Oh, not in this game, huh? Gadgets is pretty cool. A lot of people's first power was gadgets because the whole Batman thing, but I probably wouldn't recommend it because it's not as easy and straightforward. It's very similar to mental. It's the best comparison to do because they're very similar in what they can do with the whole invisibility thing, a whole separate loadout, etc. You have different when you are invisible, you have special powers that are specific to just being invisible. Like you can put people in sleep dart, you can put people in cuffs, little traps and stuff like that. So it's cool in that right, and it's very, very good for the damage. It's one of the best damage powers. Fire is another best damage power too.
All right.
But I wouldn't. It would be like a kind of. It wouldn't be my personal recommendation to start out with, but definitely something to try out later when you have a more feel for the game, you understand the mechanics, and you get down what all the game has to offer, and you're able to, incorporate more.
Okay, okay.
Okay, light would not be a recommendation, only because light requires combos. Well, it doesn't require, but you can do combos, which all a combo is, you hit, let's say you hit an ability, right? And you can just keep pressing. For us, since we're on PlayStation, you'll keep pressing different ones. So it might be square, it might be triangle, whatever the case may be, right? And you'll keep hitting different powers. Like, you don't have to keep using the powers in your tray. You're not limited to that. You just keep cycling through different combos because you're a Green Lantern and whatnot. You're creative.
Okay.
So it's really cool in that sense, but learning those combos is a lot within itself initially. But once you get it down, it comes secondhand. So that'll be something I recommend to do later when you're already in like the end game past level 30 and been doing some alerts, duos, raids, etc.
Okay.
Now when it comes to electricity, highly recommend. This is one of my favorite powers. Oh my goodness, I have a special place in my heart, for this power right here. Man, this is the first power I ever got excited for because I just saw it and it was amazing.
That's lightning, right?
Yeah, lightning, electricity, man.
All right.
Now you can have your black lightning, your static shock, even the flash at times. You know what I mean? It is a healer power. It's very straightforward, and you'll be able to get timing a lot when you're on the healing side of things. It'll help you teach the timing aspects of this game. But highly recommend this one. Highly recommend. Earth, another good one. It has combos, but very limited. Where if you press one ability, then you can press like triangle or square. Like it'll be limited just to one. So if you press like one ability, then you can press square, and then it will do like a continuation of that ability again. But that will be it. It doesn't keep going indefinitely like how the hard light can. So I would recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend it as high as fire if you're trying to be a tank. But it is very nice. You do have a pet as well that can come and assist you on the damage side and on the tank side. And if you're a tank, you mitigate a lot of your damage actually to your pet. So your pet basically take the fall. You throw them under the bus.
Sounds useful.
Quantum, I would recommend. It's very cool, especially if you're trying to get someone that likes a lot of like, I guess, niches or quirks to this game.
Yeah.
Because Quantum, you're able to like you can teleport. No other ability like how you can and like you can blink like off of Destiny, pretty much, right?
Oh.
Like you can do that. It's called quantum tunneling. Like you just like fling yourself forward and you're like teleporting. So it's really good in that capacity. When you're a controller, it has some of the best hard stuns, which a hard stun for a controller just means that like for enemies, you're able to basically suspend them in the air and keep them there.
Okay.
It's pretty good. The effects of it is top tier. Like the actual visual aspect of Quantum is really nice. Electricity is another good one that looks very nice, and Celestial, which is the next one coming up, is another nice one for visual effects, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's too. But Quantum, I would recommend. It's very nice. Celestial is one of the ones that got combos. It's one of the only healer powers that has combos. Probably wouldn't recommend it that high. It would probably be like that medium tier recommendation because it is very strong in what it can do and what it has to offer. But it's not very, I guess, beginner friendly if you don't know the combos to it. So it wouldn't be a very high recommendation. Probably wouldn't. Ooh, excuse me. I wouldn't recommend it as your first power like that. Huh?
Nothing. I was yawning.
You said gross, didn't you?
Continue.
Alright, now on to Rage. Rage is a tank, like it says. Your Red Lantern. It is very cool. If you like being basically, if you like being like a Naruto, up close and personal, this is the power for you, because it rewards high damage if you're trying to look for damage. High damage when you're up close and personal. Now, when you're back in the cut and whatnot, it can still do pretty decent, but it ain't gonna do the same damage like when you're up close and personal that it can do. I I would say I would recommend it if more the tanking side, because rage also builds its health up, and you also heal yourself, and you can also heal yourself not only in tanking stance but in the DPS stance as well, to where basically for a period of time, right, any damage that you take, you instantly get healed back.
Okay.
But the caveat is, once basically the little timer goes out, you have to hit one of your abilities that like cleanses yourself, or all that damage that you were taking and getting healed from will come back to you instantly and like as once. So think of it like, you know, with the Most High, whatnot, that whole grace period, you have to pay your sins off, whatnot, but you don't really, you know, go through redemption, you know, go through some true repentance, and that bad boy finna hit like crazy.
I guess that's one way to put it.
Munitions, highly recommend. That's a lot of people's bread and butter. It's very old, reliable kind of power. Pretty straightforward. Very limited combos where it does have. Like again, it's just like an additional button press that it can do. It has some nice things, like it has like a nuke that you can drop. It's pretty powerful, pretty good. I would highly recommend it, honestly, for a controller power too. Now on to Atomic. I think we're almost done too. On to Atomic. I probably wouldn't recommend this one just because for whether you're DPSing or tanking, majority of it more relies on you sustaining an atomic aura that you can put on yourself using the atomic abilities, and only certain of the powers give you the aura, and sometimes the aura is hard to gauge when you have it and when you're about to lose it, because you got to constantly keep it up. So it's just a whole extra step that new players don't really need to experience like that. But when you're, you know, later on in your DCUO journey, it's something to definitely try out. It's very nice. You get to heal yourself. At times you get to be invulnerable and just be like really defensed up. It's very cool in what it could do. It's very like battle tanking, because you're gonna be. It's one of the ones that like most tanks you have to sit there and block so you don't take that much damage. But with Atomic, it rewards you more if you're just constantly fighting instead of blocking. So it's more like battle tank kind of thing. And for the damage side, it can be good if you crit. Like if you do like a critical attack. But if you just hit normal attacks, like which is crits are more based off of luck in this game. And you just hit a lot of normal attacks, it's kind of subpar. Honestly.
So I have to buy power.
Huh?
I mean to interrupt you, but I have to buy some power. In order for me to use lightning, I have to buy.
It shouldn't be. Because everything should. Oh, it's probably for premium. Okay.
Yeah, so it says light, electricity, earth, quantum, celestial rage.
Yeah, pretty much anything outside the base powers, which are the first couple. Because Hard Light was the first power introduced like as a DLC, but I think it got free to most people when everybody was on.
So I can still, okay, so if I buy the power,
you have the power indefinitely. But if you I'll more recommend for you to like get a membership or something like that, because if you get a membership, you can create a character that has a power, right? And let's say your membership runs out, you still keep the character that has the power. Like nothing changes. It's like the workaround for it. And the membership gives you more stuff to offer.
Okay, so I'm looking at memberships now. 1 month, $15.
Yeah, 1 month's 15, and then progressively as you get more and more months, it just gets cheaper and cheaper.
Cheaper and cheaper.
Like per month. Like your per month price gets cheaper than $15.
Alright. Let me see. If I'm going to grind this game with you, will I be willing to dedicate a month?
Hey, look, man, it's all on you. because we didn't even get to water yet. And you can still go with some of the base powers, man. Some of the base powers that, you know, you can go with sorcery. That's pretty good. Ice. Fire's a really good one.
Okay, if I don't become a member, can I still do raids and stuff with you, or?
Yeah. Everything, all the content is DCUO made it free for everyone.
So what are some of the benefits of being a member?
Well, being a member, they revamped the whole thing. So some stuff you get is like loyalty points, which you basically get $5 back every month that you're a member, and those $5 goes like more exclusively towards basically marketplace items that you could buy. Like, so if you want extra replay badges so you can replay, you know, your raids and stuff and get more gear and marks and stuff like that from it, you can do that. And pretty much anything like styles, cosmetics. If you save up enough months, you can get power changers, body type changers, name changers, whatever. Like everything that's on the marketplace, which you'll see later on. You basically get $5 every month for it by becoming a member. That's one thing. You get replay badges by becoming a member. That is another thing. You get about 150 replay badges, which is pretty good. That's enough for like a raid, a couple alerts, and a duo or two. So it gives you enough for that to reset all those. Mind you, they reset every week, but you know, if you're playing a lot more, then you can go ahead and reset it. Another thing it does is that you'll see later on when we're in game, there is a daily like log on bonus reward that you get, right? And it basically builds on another for like the entirety of the month. And when you're just a, you know, non-member, you get the top row, which still has a lot of good stuff to offer. They give you, you know, ally favor currency or XP, whatever you want to call it, which helps you and your different allies that we'll get to later. It gives you marks to buy stuff out certain vendors that can give you more cosmetic styles and feats and all kinds of stuff, little repair bots, all kinds of stuff like that. It's more difficult to explain to someone that hasn't played DC than someone that has played DC. So most people that are going to see this have played DC or have looked at DC, so they'll understand what all comes with the membership. But basically it just allows you to get a lot more than what you get as being a non-member, right, when it comes to the daily stuff. And one thing in particular is a monthly like rare style. Like this month I think it's like Perpetuous necklace, which like hovers and like really big. It's like this golden thing. It looks like a big gold chain pretty much with like jewels and whatnot on it. That's pretty nice depending on what kind of look you're going for. There's gear that you can get from the daily stuff as well, marks to buy, you know, other gear and things of that nature, and just a whole bunch of different currencies that you can get for the marketplace or marketplace related items. This is mostly what you get from the membership. You also get increased inventory space from the membership, increased bank slots. Sorry about that, my dog oversleeping. I guess having a dream. I'm trying to think of what else, because most of the stuff that used to be membership exclusive, they made it free for everybody. So yeah, it basically enhances like your experience if you're going to play a lot. But if you don't play a lot, it's like it doesn't really matter per se.
Okay. All right. Well, continue with the powers, bro. I just bought the $15 membership, so let me
Oh, and if you are a membership but on the PC, so if we were on PC and you bought a membership, you'll be able to get access to the test server.
Okay.
Which the server, like it says, you get is basically all the upcoming updates and whatnot the developers give out to exclusive test server for a lot of the players and other developers to test out there. And you can make characters over there like we're doing here, and you can make them have absurd things like max gear, max stats, and max currencies, all kinds of stuff. It's crazy over there. But anyways, back to the last power, water here. Water is another one I would recommend. It's very nice in its healing and support role, and it has an interesting mechanic to it that doesn't require too much like knowledge to like get down and comprehend how it works. Because basically every ability that you use, right, has a cooldown. Water has a mechanic where it has one ability where it would reset any ability used before it, like take away the cooldown so it's right back up. So stuff that has a long cooldown, which are more than likely stuff that is like more powerful abilities, you can just instantly reset them and use them again. So it's pretty interesting that way. Water, think more of like Aqualad, because like water bending with water sorcery in a sense, because you can throw like a whole shark construct like how Kisame does.
No, not Aqualad, no.
I mean, Aqualad can do that stuff too, but like, you know, bring Naruto because that debate coming up. You know, you gotta plug it where you can, man. You gotta plug it where you can.
Amen. That's cool. All right, now.
But yeah, I'll recommend that one.
Powers?
Huh?
Are you done explaining the powers?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, I chose lightning. Now, as far as movements, I have flight, acrobatic, super speed, and skimming.
Yeah, skimming is basically like flight, but you can look more like Static Shock or Mr. Miracle, or Orion or something like that, pretty much.
Yeah, no, they can keep that.